Yo, my people, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, I've been away for a very long time. Now I'm back again, and guess what? This is my first live. This is my first live. Give me a round of applause, guys. Give me a round of applause. Look, it's the first time for everything. Better late than never. Look, you can tell by the intro video. I need to spruce things up, you know what I mean? The layout and everything like that. It's going to get rejigged, the logo and all of those things. They will come. I've got an L plate right about now. I'm learning. But it's a first time for everything. You get me? I've got it. I've got the ball rolling. I said I'm going to start doing more lives this season. And I feel like it's going to be a good season to be doing lives because Manchester United is cooking. Yo, look, Manchester United, there's been so much happening, man. There's been so much happening with Manchester United, from the Buemos to the Cunhas, you know what I mean, to Sesko over the line. You know what I mean? I'm reading articles where Sesko was like, you know, he couldn't even wait till the following morning. He said, I need to leave now. Jumped on a private jet. Pictures taken with his agent. Vivell's meeting him at the airport. It's just amazing. And it's so different as well because you've got guys like that are hungry to play for the badge, hungry to play for Manchester United. It's not just for the money. They're not on overinflated wages. Do you understand? We're not playing stupid amounts of money. Yes, these signings are expensive, but look, just years back, it was Anthony, 100 million euros. Maguire, 80 million pounds. And don't get me wrong, like, Maguire's been a good servant, but we're paying overinflated prices for players. And Manchester United, at least, we're paying decent amount of money for Cunha. He's worth it. He's worth every penny. Like, if he comes, Premier League proven, does what he's been doing for Wolves at Manchester United. And mind you, I believe he will do what he's been doing for Manchester United like he has been doing for Wolves, because Wolves are not a team that creates a lot. Cunha was the main man, and Cunha was the one that was creating chances in the bad seasons of Wolves where they're finishing 14th. Look, Cunha was getting double-figure goals. So for me, I feel like it's an excellent signing. And out of all the options that was out there in terms of their attacking players, us being able to land Buemo and land Cunha, you know, two of the best attackers out there, top 5, is amazing. It is amazing. And I never would have dreamed that Manchester United will be having a window like this where we finish 15th, haven't finished in Champions League back-to-back, or in Europe, should I say, back-to-back. And I can't remember the last time that happened to us. And me there thinking that we ain't going to have no money to spend, or it's going to be really impacted. But you know what? Omar Barada, in the USA tour, he said he's got a plan A, he's got a plan B, like, he's got plans. And we can see it coming to fruition. I was getting nervous, but we can see it coming to fruition. But guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit me up, OT99 Banter Room. Check me out on all platforms. But let's get into the topic for today. The topic for today right about now is Sesko. Sesko only wants Manchester United. Look, this is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Look, when Newcastle came in, right, with their bid, 90 million euros, the first one got rejected, 90 million euros. I thought, damn, it's over. Like, I was thinking in my heart, like, does Sesko, is he going to choose Newcastle over us? That's a lot of money. They're coming out saying they're willing to give him whatever he wants. Agent fees, take whatever you want. Wages, take whatever you want. RB Leipzig, whatever money you want, just name it. I'm paying it. I thought, Man United can't compete with that. We can't go into a bidding war with a team that's willing to risk it all. Like, they know that they're going to get the windfall of Isaac anyway, which is going to be upwards of 120 million. You know what I mean? They've got all this money to spend. They wanted to buy Buemo, they got rejected. So you know they've at least got 70 million pounds in the coffers, at least. And you add Isaac money on top of that. Look, Newcastle was willing to go all the way. And then a desperate situation because, as you can see, Isaac has now been cast aside. He's been training by himself. He's disgruntled. He's unhappy. He wants to leave. He wants to leave. Newcastle's in a dire place right about now. Ekitike said no. And Buemo said no. Sesko said no. Everyone they want is saying no. And now they're in a position where they may lose Isaac. And that is a scary position. It is a scary position. But it's good news for us because we are Newcastle's rivals. I mean, if you're looking at those Champions League positions, top 5, I'm not even say top 5, 5th, or even Europe, let's say, Newcastle's one of them that we got to be watching. Tottenham's potentially one of them that we got to be watching. Aston Villa, I'm not sure. They ain't signed guys. They've lost guys. They ain't strengthened, but got to put them in the mix. Unai Emery's a good manager. Like, I'm just happy that Manchester United has closed ground and closed the gap. Closed the gap on these teams that just made us look so silly last season. Made us look so silly. Manchester United is closing their gap, and I'm happy about that. You understand? Man United's got a whole new front three with Sesko spearheading our attack. Now, these things about, don't get me wrong, like, we paid good money for him. You understand? We paid 85 million euro package, which is about 70 plus on million, but you know, he scores about 13, 14 goals in Bundesliga, give or take, the odd goal here and there. He's a worry. He's young, 21, 22. No Premier League experience. Like, we pay big money again. And the first name that comes into people's head is Rasmus Højlund. Like, I get it. And it does bring worries. It does bring worries. But the one thing I can lean on with this signing is the fact that Man United's been watching this guy for a long time. And Vevel is really, really, really been watching this guy, and he's had him at RB Leipzig. You know, this is the hat trick of him having him, you know, and bringing him into the club. So for me, I'm like, I trust Vevel. I trust his talent ID. I trust his ability to be able to identify players and say, yes, that's the right one. What he's been doing with Chido and Aiden Heaven, like, and many of the other youth that are to follow, like, I trust him. And if he's saying that Sesko's the guy and he's got a high window, high ceiling, and he can do well in this club, then I have to go for it. I have to go for it. You understand? And some things on just initial watching Sesko, look, he's a freak of nature. He's 6'5" tall, 6'5" tall. You understand? But at the same time, not only that, like, this is a guy that has got stupid amount of speed. Like, he clocked about 22 miles per hour last season. It was ranked one of the fastest runners out there, you know, in the league. And it just makes you think, a guy that tall shouldn't be able to do that. I mean, technically, you know, he's got a long stride, but usually they're not usually associated with the fast sprinters. You know, it's usually those shorter guys, you know, close center, you know what I'm trying to say with the gravity thing. It's usually those type of guys. It's not the long dangly guys. But Sesko surprisingly has got speed. And that's going to go a long way, because this is a guy, Sesko, that has also got one of the highest amount of goals from transitional plays in RB Leipzig, along with Openda. So I think they scored around 6 each or something like that in terms of transition goals. Like, and Man United play that style of football. He's a guy that's 6'5". Like I said, he's a guy that's got 30% roughly of his goals over the last couple of seasons from headers. Man United's been terrible at scoring headers. Set pieces, we've been terrible, both offensively and defensively. So we've got a guy that's 6'5" that can not only help us with the aerial threat, but can also help us defensively. And look, we've got Mbeumo on the right-hand side on the wing, the right side of the 10, that is known for having one of the highest, I think, or one of the highest amounts of output for crosses. That's just a recipe for just success, because you're going to have Mbeumo consistently pinpointing, whipping in those balls. And who's going to be at the end of it? Nobody is getting on the end of that ball over Sesko. That height difference is crazy. I mean, just what's the typical height in the Premier League? I don't know. The average 6 foot less. Like, this guy's going to be towering over the next person by at least 2-3 inches. That is a lot. That is a lot. So Sesko, I mean, again, watching him, he seems like he's got really good link-up play. You know, playing with his back against a goal. If the ball comes into him to feet, he's really good at doing the whole one-touch layoff and finding his man. sort of like, you know how Xerxes likes to receive it and keeps it moving quickly. Sesko's like that as well. Sort of, he lays it off and then he makes the run as well. So I like that. And I think some of the disparities with him and where you see Rasmus Højlund in that sense is Rasmus Højlund, when he receives it with his back towards goal, when he's sort of doing that wrestling, he's sort of taking too long, you know what I mean? He's fighting and eventually he falls on the ground, you know, it's a foul. We like to see that slick football business, you understand? Get that ball, look around you, know who's to your left, know who's to your right, be able to have that forward thinking. And I think that's what Rasmus Højlund lacks with all of the raw ingredients that he has in terms of physicalness and speed and aggressiveness and pressing and all of that. He doesn't have that techers, you know what I mean, when it comes to that. He's not a baller like that. Could he grow and be that? Maybe. But yeah, last season was a bit of a regression. But I must say though, like, look, Manchester United is looking to recoup money. Look, we've spent quite a lot of money, 130 on Mbeumo and Cunha, you know, another 85 million on Sesko. You're talking about 210 million pounds without any major sales. And then we're looking at the person that I'm going to go on to next. But look, Manchester United is definitely going to need some sales. And I'm hearing obviously that Rasmus Højlund is probably going to be one of those up for sale. Garnacho's obviously another one up for sale, do you know? And Rasmus Højlund, look, it's a shame though, isn't it? Because we've now brought in two of the best number 10s in the league into Manchester United's team. And Rasmus Højlund won't even get the opportunity to play with them. You understand? We've got a Dorgu now that's looking up for it in pre-season. Ain't going to get an opportunity to play with them like that. Mind you, though, I can't remember what game it was. Was it our last game that we played where Rasmus Højlund was fuming again because Dorgu went for the shot and he didn't put the ball in for him, and you know he had his head down, and that's just a learning thing. Like, Dorgu's young, he's gonna have to learn, you know, to look up. You understand? And you know that comes with training, that comes with coaching. But yeah, that did remind me, you know, because Rasmus Højlund looked like a frustrated figure at that point. But look, we're cooking, man. Manchester United is cooking. Sesko chose Manchester United. Sesko wants Manchester United. And what makes me happy about it as well, another thing, is the fact that this is a team that Arsenal wanted. It was Arsenal's first choice before Gyökeres. They just couldn't agree to deal. And it makes you wonder, like, why couldn't they agree to deal? What were they offering? Or is it the fact that Sesko just said no because he said, you know, he wanted specific clubs and everything like that? I don't know. I don't know what it was, but look, Arsenal wanted him, Newcastle wanted him. Like, this is a guy that was sought after. Do you know what I mean? And he said, Manchester United, I want you. I want you. Do you understand? I want to be the one that bring Manchester United back into the Champions League, back to glory. And I respect it. I respect it a lot. So look, Sesko, man. But like I said, the negatives in that sense is Sesko is like, he's a young guy. It's going to be the weight on his shoulders. The weight on his shoulders. New to the Premier League, big price tag. There's going to be huge expectation. Look, this is a team last season and we scored about 40 plus goals last season. Like, there's a huge magnifying glass on our attack now, especially because most of our funds has gone there. So there's going to be a huge magnifying glass there. On top of that, you've brought in a young gun again, who's going to be similarities with Rasmus Højlund throughout the season, I can imagine, because they're going to be saying, look, you brought in Rasmus Højlund, he wasn't a prolific goal scorer, X, Y, and Z, and now you spent big money on him, and now you've gone and done the same with Sesko. But the difference is, it's a different environment that Sesko's going to be walking into than Rasmus Højlund. There's not that sole dependency now on Rasmus Højlund and on Sesko that there was on Rasmus Højlund in that front line position. Do you understand? If Sesko's not working out, you'll be able to put him from the starting lineup. You'll be able to rest him. You'll be able to probably put Cunha up there, you know, or put Mbeumo up there and then play Bruno behind. Like, we've got options. Ahmad, we've got options. Do you understand? Whereas before, it was limited options. So I feel like that's going to play a massive, massive, massive role. And also, again, that one game a week is another big bonus. It's another big bonus because that'll be more time on the training ground for Sesko to just ease in bed, learn the ways of how we play. You know what I mean? And I feel like I feel like it's going to be a different story, man. But mind you, like, it is going to still take a lot of adapting. It's going to still be a big task. So look, for me, I'm gassed. I'm so gassed, and I get to crash it on the rivals, Newcastle. Newcastle. Newcastle fans. It's so funny as well because I'm hearing like Newcastle fans whine. Oh, what do you mean? Every player goes to Manchester United. Everyone, why are they going to Manchester United when they kill your career? Why would you want to go there? They finish 15th. Blah, 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 blah. Look, we've got Tonali. We've got Gordon. We've got all. No, nobody cares about that. Look, nobody's trying to go down there when you've got big Manchester United there. You've got years to go to build up that pedigree before you feel that players can be choosing you over us on a consistent basis. There is no way, bro. Like, just because you finish in Champions League, I don't know why Newcastle fans feel like, yeah, like this, they're entitled to be having a bigger draw than Manchester United. Bro, there's more to it than this, bro. We're different gravy, boy, different kettle of fish. Like, these men grew up on Cristiano Ronaldo. They grew up on the legends, bro. They grew up watching these men, idolizing them, man. They were saying in their little PJs, "Raw, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy." Like, these men have grew up on that gen. They grew up with the Fergies, the trebles. They watched it. They're still pulling power there. They're still pulling power there, and they know the project is cooking, and they want to be a part of it. But anyway, look, we move on. But I'm just going to say, like, look, at the end of the day, wipe your eye, dry your eye. You get me? Go for Jackson, £80 million. You get me? But look, next topic, Baleba, man. Baleba's price is set. Breaking news. Lorient, what is it again? Let me see where that news come out of. Again, Brighton have set the 104 million asking price for Carlos Baleba. Rob Dawson, ESPN, and also Lawrence Julian. They've come up with a news saying that Baleba 104 million price tag. Excuse me. Now look, I can't tell you I'm surprised. I really can't. I really can't. After what I saw Declan Rice go for, after what I saw Moises Caicedo go for, I am not surprised that Baleba's price is this. Because at the end of the day, these valuations, they're only looking at the next man and saying, yeah, if he went for that, I'm going, like, look, this is Brighton as well. Brighton drive a hard bargain. They drive a hard bargain. We saw what Moises Caicedo went for. What was it again? 115 million straight. I don't even remember there being add-ons or anything like that with Moises Caicedo deal. Do you know what I mean? Cucurella, big P's. What did they go for? 60 or odd million? Big P's. Like, they don't they don't play about. So I knew it was going to be big money. At the same time, though, if we don't pay it, someone else is going to pay it. So for us, and if we don't get him now, it's now or never, bro. It is now or never. Really and truly is now or never. Because once everyone's got their budgets back in order for the following season, please believe they're going to be going in for him. Your Liverpools could be looking at him. You know what I mean? Your cities could be looking at him. Like, Chelsea's always in the mix. Arsenal's there, you know. And I know these guys, maybe less Arsenal because they got Zubimendi, they got they got Declan Rice and all of that. Maybe less them. But you never know with teams like Liverpool. You just never know. You know what I mean? And for me, you don't know what Manchester United season could look like again. If we don't finish in Champions League again, are we going to be looking more appealing? If we had a terrible season again, are we going to be looking more appealing? You know what I mean? Are we going to have the cash to be able to fund it then? Like, all of these factors that come into play. And again, like, outside of the Premier League teams that could be interested, you've got Europe, you've got the Bayerns, you've got the PSGs, you know, you've got those teams of the world. And sometimes I've got caught up thinking, oh, you know, these guys are all set. They've got their players, but they still come in and bid. And you're thinking, oh, like, you're stacked. Why do you need them? So for me, look, Baleba, we need to use our tools. We've got Onana, you get me, the Cameroon syndicate, putting in a shift for Mbeumo. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully Mbeumo and Onana's putting in a shift for Baleba. because I like the little, you see the photos and you like to see the groups forming, and it's a nice click, not the toxic clicks. You got the South Americans there doing their thing. You understand? You see Delo chilling out with them as well, even though he's not, you know what I mean? But you got them man there, Leon, Cunha, you know, Martinez, they're all doing their thing there. And then now we can have the Cameroonian click there, Struck Ivory Coast there, you know, the one there. So I like it. I like it. I like the little groups, positive groups, and the vibes, keep the vibes nice. So I'm hopefully, you know what, like these guys put in a shift as well and do a bit of legwork. But I must say this though, with how Manchester United has been moving this season, when news just comes out like that from Ornstein, you know what I mean? That's a briefing. It's a clear briefing, isn't it, from Manchester United? They've laid their cards on the table and said they want Baleba. And there's already, you know, talks of intermediaries having discussions. But I have the slight inkling feeling that Manchester United, I've got reassurances already. For news to come out that public, obviously Baleba's, you know, news has come out that he's open to Manchester United, but I just feel that there's just a little bit more. I really do feel that Baleba probably wants Manchester United a bit more than I'm just open to it. And I feel like Manchester United's probably got a bit more of an agreement than just discussion with intermediaries. Do you know what I mean? I think now they're discussed. Now I think what they need to know is the position. Obviously, the price has been laid out, whether that's true or not, £104 million. Whether Manchester United can work that down, you know, guaranteed fee and then add-ons, making it not £104. It's yet to be seen. Do you understand? It's yet to be seen. But hopefully we can strike a deal. But it needs to be done now. It really needs to be done now, because if other teams come in the mix, bro, it's a wrap. It is absolutely a wrap. And I'm just so excited about the Baleba news. I'm so excited because he is going to be our Declan Rice. He's going to be our Moises Caicedo. He's a guy that is so sick. You understand? He's a box-to-box, all-out, dynamic, action-jackson, like midfielder. He can do everything. He can do not quite everything. Let me get carried away. But you know what I mean? He can do the whole ball carrying. He's press resistant. His agility is through the roof. Do you understand? He will spin you in a heartbeat, receive the ball, turn, and not only that, he's driving forward. Do you understand? His progressive passes in terms of that, progressing the ball with his passing. You know, I saw some stat. One of the guys in my WhatsApp group shared it with me. Shout out NK. He's not as good with the progressive passes, progressing the ball forward with his passes. However, with his ball winning, he's high up there, man. And obviously, we've got another tenacious ball winner in Ugarte. So when those crazy big games, playing both of them will be insane. Will be interesting to see. But for me, I feel like Baleba, and I know like people are thinking, you know, he's obviously gonna pair with Bruno Fernandes if we get him. But the way how I see it is Baleba's profile is someone that probably needs to be the number 8 in the future. Do you know what I mean? He needs to be the number 8 because I feel like just like that whole discussion with Declan Rice at Arsenal where they felt like he had more to his locker and playing him as a 6 is kind of restricting some of his abilities. I feel like that's the same if you're just restricting Baleba to be as a number 6 only, because the ability that he's got to carry that ball, you know, and progress us up the pitch is amazing and it's very unique. And it's not something that Manchester, until Cunha anyway, it's not something that we really had in more of that central midfielder position. So look, I'm excited to see what Baleba can do. Like, and I remember, you know, the goal that we conceded against West Ham. If we had Baleba's like his pace, his agility, his engine, he probably would have been someone that would have got back and made that challenge. Do you know? Look, I'm so excited. I mean, I don't know who Baleba. Obviously, it's going to be Bruno, or is it going to be a pairing with Manu? You know, like how is this all going to work out? You know, you're going to have your Sesko, you're going to have your Mbeumo and Cunha. But then, you know, is it going to be Bruno one? Is it going to be Bruno one, Baleba? You know, or is Bruno going to be playing a false 9? Or what's going to happen? All I know is Man United is building squad depth, and I like it. And obviously, there is a slight worry with the signings in the sense of AFCON. You know, we got some big games during that period. You know, should those teams go to the latter stages of the tournament or the final, the games like, City, games like Leeds, games like who else? I think Newcastle's up in there. A number of decent games in there, and you want your best players, but at the same time, we can still have a squad depth where we can still say, Sesko up top, Mason Mount, hopefully he stays fit, plays as a 10. Do you know what I mean? Bruno can equally play as the other 10. In the midfield, you can have your Mainu and Ugarte. Like, you can function. You know what I mean? You can function. We have a squad there. We're building. We have squad depth there, and I like that. I really do like that. And Manchester United ain't stopping there. We still want to go out in a market and get a goalkeeper. And we still want to go out in the market. I think, is it Lemens that Fabrizio keeps talking about? He keeps saying, watch out for it. I'm showing you that he's probably going to be the number one target, bro. Like, I know the Donnarumma talk is coming out, and, price has been set on his head, 30 million. But Fabrizio's been going on and on and on about this Lemens guy. And I just feel like he's going to be a Manchester United player. Do you know what I mean? The price is right. It's not too expensive. I think the last time I checked, it was about £10 million, 10 to 15 million pounds. It's not a lot of money. He's got a good reputation, and he's someone that's not going to be the number one starter, but he's going to come in and challenge Onana. And I think that's probably what Manchester United are looking to do right about now. So I can see him being that guy. So yeah, he's probably going to come in at some point later on down in the window. And in this midfield, I see Manchester United making 2 more signings, Baleba and a goalkeeper, and then we're wrapping it up. But let me ask you a question though, before I sign out. What do you rate Manchester United's transfer window as for incomings and outgoings if we manage to sell Garnacho? And mind you, Garnacho needs to go for nothing less than 55 million, 60 million. But I just know it ain't going to happen. But he should. He should. Because we see all the Chelsea deals that's going on out there, and you're thinking, what? Look, if Chelsea had this guy, Garnacho, they'll be slapping an 80 million price tag on his head. But anyway, Garnacho going. Obviously, Rashford's gone. He's on loan. Option to buy. Sancho potentially going to Dortmund. Look, we need to get rid of these guys, bro. But what would you rate our window if we managed to get rid of the bomb squad and bring in Baleba and bring in a goalkeeper? Let me know in the comments, man, because I would love to know what you think it should be. I would love to know. I would really, really, really do. Because I think that if we get Baleba and if we get a keeper and get rid of the bomb squad, I'll rate our transfer window on 9 out of 10. I mean, it's immaculate. It has been amazing. It has been amazing, bro. But guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you score it a 9 out of 10 or less. You get me? So look, it's going to be an interesting window, man. I'm going to be trying to do more live streams, as you can tell. This is a bit rough and stuff, but it will improve. It will get better. You'll see a lot more better things going on, graphics and all of that. But I just thought I would share my views, a quick one, keep it nice and sweet, and let you guys know my thoughts on the matter. My thoughts. And guys, if you lasted this long with my life, look, stay tuned, man. I got something hot coming out. That video's coming out soon, bro. Keep your eyes on the prize, man. Listen out for it. Subscribe if you want all of the hottest bars coming your way, because that's what I do. I rap about the games, about the news in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And it's for your pleasure. But guys, remember to like, comment, and then subscribe. OT99 Bantering. Check me out on TikTok, Instagram, X. I'm out there. Until next time, guys. Peace.